Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another live this morning, and good to have you on with us. And as usual, we'll say hello to a few people as you come on and make sure that everything is good. Hope you're having a great day. And Nativity, good morning to you. Good to have you on with us this morning. Michael from Wawa, Nick is on, Anna and Diane. Good to have you on with us. Morris from North Bay. Nice to have you on, Morris. Jerry from Hatley, Quebec. And Jerry, another Jerry from Nouveau Brunswick. And Grace from Newfoundland. Susan from Pembroke. Can I say Hollywood or Pembroke Pines, Florida? Susan, Margaret, Andrea, again from New Brunswick, Hamilton, Josephine, Diane, Pronovo from Blainville, just on the border between Ontario and Quebec. Windsor, good morning to you. And George, George, nice to see you on with us. Yolande, bonjour. And Faye and Shirley from Kapuskasing. Folks, North Pole is here. Kapuskasing is right here. Good morning to everyone this morning. Yeah, okay. And Alan, nice to have you on. And Alan says, I'm watching with my granddaughters. Well, good for you. If I had known grandchildren that much fun, we'd have had them first. I got 11 grandchildren, one great-grandchild. And man, oh man, grandchildren. Just unbelievable how your heart melts for those kids. And Pierrette, bonjour. And Jeanette's watching this morning. Brianna from Hearst. Hearst is even farther north, folks, from Kapuskasing. Okay, so question and answers. Some of these questions you probably already know the answer to, but it's always good to go over them, okay? Now, we had several questions, so I've lumped them in together here. What I did is I did nutrition questions first, and then I did conditions, because people ask about certain conditions. Some of them are very rare, and that's all right. They're good questions, and I'll answer them. I might not go into great detail, especially if they're rare, but if I can find something practical to talk about. So we got a lot of good questions that came in this morning. And okay, and the question with Nancy asked the question, why is the reset so difficult for some people? Well, well, it's because, like I always say, the reset is simple, but it's not easy. Okay? It's not easy. You know, put your hand up. My name is Tony and I'm a carboholic. And especially if your body's been used to eating that way for a long time, the reset is completely the opposite of it. For a lot of people, especially women that love their vegetables and fruit, for 30 days, the body goes through a big change. So it can be very difficult. I'm not saying, like I say, it's simple. The diet is simple. And the diet works. Read the testimonies. Incredible. Incredible. My book is about the reset. And I talk about what it does. I think there's 17 things that I have proven to thousands of people what it does, okay? So the reset is a very simple but not easy diet. Guys, let's be honest about diets, okay? Nothing's easy, right? I don't care if it's keto, if it's whatever. It's not easy. You know, and people that are in tremendous shape or whatever, they don't diet. They don't have to. But as Tony Jr. mentioned in an email yesterday, 88%, and this is not coming from us, this is coming from the CDC, 88% of the population are unhealthy. And metabolic syndrome is food. It's insulin. The reset is meant to fix it. It fixes it. So it's not easy. And a very good question, Nancy. It's not easy because it depends where you are. And for some people, they don't like, and even some people can't, they don't do well with eggs. I feel sorry for them. Well, you're eliminating one group of food like dairy. And you know me, I'm not talking about milk. I'm talking about cheese. And some people can't have cheese. Well, that's difficult on the reset. And they can only eat meat. If you're not used to eating meat, if you're a vegetarian, or you eat 99% vegetarian or vegan, you're going to find the reset, it's hard. It's a big change. But I just say this, I have never, and I've been around a long time, 46 years in practice, never, ever have had the results. And you name the diet, I'll give you the Coles Notes version of it. I'll put up the reset against any diet, in terms of results. Because very specific, it's to lower your insulin resistance at the cellular level. It's to empty out your liver. It will empty out your liver 100%. It's the best weight loss diet that I've ever used. It just is. And it's the healthiest because you get all the nutrition you need. So, yeah. But some people don't like it. Well, what can I tell you? Sophie was asking, edema. She gets edema on the reset. Well, 99%, Sophie, are the opposite. It takes away edema. And it's good for your circulation because you're elevating your nitric oxide. And edema, a lot of times, is dehydration. And just be careful, like one thing about it, and I mentioned this in the book, you need to drink a lot of water. And only water is water. Okay? Diane, another one who said she still has her allergies and she lost hair with that. Well, again, I can just tell you the testimonies are the opposite of that. Most people found that their hair was much thicker, so were their nails. Their skin was better. And I put testimonies in the book to that effect. Many, many testimonies to that effect. So the odd one, I don't, again, see your fingerprint? There's 7 billion people on the planet and no one's got a fingerprint like you have. No one has the iris that you have. Individual, unique. Everybody's different. So when I talk in generalities, just understand that, for some people, and it's rare, they didn't do well. It's very rare. But that's the same for keto. That's the same for calories. That's the same for South Beach. That's the same, every diet. You name it. And some people, they don't do so well. You know, what can I tell you? I have to talk in the 99% range. So, and Laura was saying she tried the reset, but didn't get her period during the reset. So hormonally, again, there could be an adjustment. You know, I wouldn't worry about it too much, Laura, but I could ask you 20 questions. How old are you? Is it coincidental? Are you perimenopausal? Whatever. I mean, there's a lot of questions to ask. Most people found their hormones were much better because of the nutrient-dense diet. It's nutrient-dense. Every vitamin, every mineral, everything you need is in it. Okay? And then someone asked, what diet would I recommend for ALS, which is a very serious disorder. But I'm going to tell you what I recommend, the reset. Every day, I'm answering emails from my staff or whatever, people are asking questions, and 99% of them I send back and say, well, besides maybe this supplement or the other supplement, I recommend they do the reset. I recommend it for everybody. Everybody. Because we live in a world, like I said, 88% of the population are upside down metabolically. They're not doing well metabolically. They have too much insulin. They have the condition called insulin resistance, which will elevate your triglycerides, which are very dangerous, lower your HDL, which is very dangerous, create inflammation in the body, which is very dangerous, elevate for a lot of people their blood pressure. 50% of the population, 50% have some form of heart disease. 50%. In the 1900s, early 1900s, heart disease was 10%. Have we changed, or has our diet changed? The diet has changed. It's the way it's crazy, but that's the world we live in, guys. That's why, you know, I talked even yesterday and the day before, like, limit your fruit. We live in a different world. And because you're using so much insulin, or the world is, maybe not you, but the world uses so much insulin. We talked about soda. We talked about Mexico. We talked about COVID. And the virus, but no one's talking about why people are getting sick from this. And that's why I love the reset. It boosts your immune system like nobody's business. You got to eat anyways. And why not do the 30-day program? The book will be out soon. We're going to be pre-selling it pretty soon. Okay? Just waiting on the publisher to get everything ready here. It's out of my hands now. Okay? So what about the reset? Teresa was asking, with congestive heart failure, the best diet for congestive heart failure is the reset. Why? Because what's happening with congestive heart failure? The heart, right? Edema. Why? Because the heart is a muscle. That's why I don't like statin drugs. It damages the muscle. Your heart's a muscle. And when the muscle gets weak, the heart muscle gets weak. That's congestive heart failure. The reset elevates your CoQ10. What's CoQ10? It directly affects the muscle cell. Your body makes CoQ10, but you better eat meat and eggs and cheese, especially red meat, in order to get the right amounts of CoQ10 in your body. Very important. So ask me any diet, and I'm going to tell you to do the reset. I don't care what the condition is. I mean that. Okay, let's just do a few more nutrition. Kefir water, what do I think of it? Well, I've never had it, to be honest with you. Kefir or kefir, I don't know how you pronounce it. Look, you make your kefir or you drink kefir water, I got no problem. It's got, bacteria. Look, I like broad spectrum. That's the problem. Okay, it's like yogurt. Like if you just got plain Greek yogurt, problem is if it's been pasteurized, it kills the bacteria. So if you insist on eating yogurt, then I say, well, open up a capsule and put a capsule of probiotic in. I'm a big guy, you know that, on broad spectrum probiotics. Broad spectrum have at least 10 different strains of bacteria because different strains do different things. And kefir, I got no problem with it. Fermented foods, it's fine. They're good for you. But I wouldn't use it as a substitute for taking a broad spectrum probiotic, again, because of the world in which we live. Brenda, that was Laura asking that question. Brenda was asking about ketone powders. And who else was asking? Someone asked about MCT oil. Let me just talk about that for a minute. There's a new sort of phenomenon out. It started several years ago now with what they call bulletproof coffee. Okay, you've heard of it. You put MCT oil. And I got no problem with it. And there's... your body, as you know, triglycerides get stored in your liver, okay? And MCT oils, okay, they're medium chain triglycerides. Now, when you hear the word triglycerides, you panic because I always talk about how bad they are. Yeah, when they get into your bloodstream, not in your liver. It's only when your liver gets full. So ketones, what they do, these are called exogenous ketones. You can buy them in powders. You can buy it in MCT oil, which is, there's two types. There's lauric acid, like in coconut oil. And there is, what's that other one called? Capra, C-A-P-R-A oil. And that is the one that is an MCT, which is better. It's a derivative of coconut oil. It's a derivative of it. So if you just have coconut oil, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with coconut oil. But it's not an exogenous ketones. It doesn't burn exactly the same way. Now listen, in my opinion, okay, I'm going to give you what I think. I wouldn't spend a lot of money on it. Okay? You're better off to burn ketones yourself. You burn a different fuel when you change fuels. Your body is either going to burn carbs or it's going to burn fat. If you lower your carbs enough, you will burn fat. And it'll start with your liver. Right? So if you lower your carbohydrates, which the reset does, it's not keto per se, because I'm not allowing any carbohydrate. Nada. But that's a 30-day program. Although some people have been on it for years and have done well. And there's no problem because you're not missing anything. You're not missing anything. The only thing you're missing is variety. I've often talked to you about that. For a lot of people, I tell them, look, I know you want to eat 50 different foods. But when you're unhealthy, I tell people, rope in your diet. Don't eat 50 different foods. Eat a few foods. Foods that'll get along with your body. You need a relationship, a healthy relationship with food. A lot of people, they just feel, oh, I've got to try everything. Yeah, okay. The problem is a lot of people have digestive issues, they have insulin issues, they have inflammation issues. And I tell them, look, variety of I know it's called the spice of life, but not with food. You got intolerances. You have leaky gut. Quit eating carbs. They're making you worse. Oh, Dr. Martin, but I like them. I didn't say you didn't like them. I'm telling you, they're not good for you. Be your own doctor. Figure out. That's why most people on the reset, it sounds crazy to them because, holy moly, doc, you mean eggs, meat, and cheese? What else can I eat? Eggs, meat, and cheese. Well, yeah, I know, but what else? Eggs, meat, and cheese. I can't do that. Well, then I can't help you. Sure, you can do it. Anybody can do it. Like I said, takes 3 weeks to form a habit. One of my favorite D's in life is discipline. Not easy to be disciplined, especially with food, isn't it? It's not easy. You know what's the worst addiction in the world, really, is food addiction. Why? Food is around, Can I be honest with you? I can't even remember the last time I seen cocaine. It's not around me. I don't go where it is. So I'm not too worried about it. Now, if you're a cocaine addict, okay. But when you're a food addict, food's around us all day long, man. The fridge is right beside us. The cupboards are full of food. That's a difficult addiction to break. You're a carboholic. It's not an easy addiction to break, but you must break it. Because you'll never be healthy eating whatever you feel like it. I'm telling you, you're just not going to, oh, doc, my uncle lived till 110 and he smoked and he drank and he ate whatever he felt like. But that was by the grace of God. I can tell you that. It wasn't because he was smoking and drinking, because I'm going to tell you, I've been in practice for 46 years, and people that smoked and drank and didn't do any exercise and whatever, most of them are dead. And I mean it. I mean, you wouldn't even be listening to me today if you weren't interested in your health. A lot of people, they live their lives flying by the seat of their pants. I hear no evil. I see no evil. They don't want to know anything. Don't tell me about changing my diet. Don't tell me I can't drink Pepsi all day long and, or Diet Coke or whatever they're drinking all day long. And look, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. I know I'm preaching to the choir here. But in your mind's eye, I'm sure you can think of people, you can't do it for them. And I don't care. Any change that you make in life worthwhile is not going to be easy. But is it ever worth it? Why do you think I get so pumped all the time? Because I see the results. I hear the results. I used to tell people in my practice, look, you got to trust me, man. You came to see me. You got to trust me. And when you trust me, I'm going to tell you what to do. The only unfortunate part is I can't go home with you and implement it. I can't do it for you, but I'm going to give you a plan to succeed, man. Every patient I ever saw, I gave them a plan to succeed. Here's what you do. Don't think of 5 years from now. Do this for 30 days. Trust me for 30 days. Oh, Dr. Martin, what am I going to do without bread? I can't go 30 days without bread. Well, then I can't help you. You came to see me. Now I'm going to tell you the truth, man. Your inflammation is high. Your insulin is high. Your blood pressure is high. Your acid reflux is high. Your sleep apnea is no good. And and then, I give you, yeah, but doc, I can't do it. Well, I can't just give you one pill and I'm going to fix you. Yep. Anyway. Okay, so that was, I don't know how I got on that when I was talking about MCT oils. Don't wait. Look, you got money, you can use it. I got no problem with that. I just tell you, I'd rather you burn your own ketones. Cut the carbs out, you'll burn ketones. Simple as that. Okay? Sandy asked about lemon in water. Yeah. Put a couple of drops of lemon in it. What about distilled water? Nellie's asking. Nope. It's not in nature, distilled water. You got spring water in nature. Now listen, you don't have to drink spring water. But if you're going to drink it out of a tap, please filter it. At least do that. And that water is not, pH is not going to be as high as mineral water. Like spring water has got a very high pH. There's no reason to spend a lot of money with water. Filter it. And if you want to make spring water out of your tap water, you know how you do it? Take a little bit of Himalayan salt and put it in your water. Just a little pinch. Now you got mineral water. 84 minerals in the Himalayan salt. Yeah. And now you're getting electrolytes. Maybe if you're sweating too much, you might need some more. But all I'm saying is, yeah, I don't like distilled water. There's no reason to drink it. It's not nature. Okay? Elizabeth's asking about the effect of alcohol on the body. Well, look, be very careful with alcohol because, remember on Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday, it might have been, what was the chipmunk day? I talked about, if you're trying to lose weight, watch nuts and seeds and watch fructose, right? Because you gain weight rapidly with that. You want to fatten up a bear? They eat 30,000 berries a day. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have any berries or fruit. I'm just saying be careful if you're trying to lose weight, okay? So alcohol is the same thing. Like in the clinic, we used to have a weight loss clinic. And when they went on our program, and even on the reset, no alcohol, 30 days. That goes directly, it takes a beeline to your liver. You're just going to fill your liver up with fatty liver with alcohol. So, look, I'm not telling you can, for 30 days you can't. Alcohol, that's up to you, but be careful with it because, again, we live in a day and age of 88% of the population is metabolically upside down. Well, alcohol ain't, it's you got to be careful with it. It'll elevate your insulin. Okay, so in moderation, be very careful with it. Good question. And Jose was asking about using collagen powder. Well, bone broth is collagen. Okay, it's collagen. Collagen is your matrix. It makes up the basic framework of your bones, your skin, your cells, your collagen. That's why I love bone broth. If you want to take extra collagen, I don't care. It's not going to hurt you. But bone broth is collagen. Okay, that's why I love it as a protein powder. Okay, you can make your own, or a lot of people love I love that protein powder in Dr. Martin's Perfect Smoothie. Okay, let's talk about a few conditions. Very good nutritional questions this morning. Okay, let's just go over these. Marcy was asking about POTS, P-O-T-S, which is a positional tachycardia. What's that mean? Everything bad happens to them when they stand up. When they lie down, they're fine. It's fairly rare. I always look, Marcy, I look for deficiencies. Okay, so in any condition you name me, I'll go over a few of those. Remember, in my office, we used to do all this testing. So, you got to look for anemia. You got to look for low levels of B12. You have to look at low levels of coenzyme Q10, low levels of magnesium. All of these can be factors. Sometimes it's, it's not that obvious because doctors often don't test to that extent, but that's what I look for. Why? I always look what's involved here. And a lot of times their thyroid is in the low range. It may not be showing up on the blood work. And somebody asked about blood work. Hold on, let me get to it. Well, Steve was asking about blood work and fasting. Why did they ask you to fast? Well, they usually ask you to fast. I mean, there's a couple of tests that they want you fasting. One of them is usually your A1C, or, if a doctor's looking for diabetes, he wants to know where you're at fasting usually. Okay, it's usually with blood sugar, but there's a few other tests too, Steve, okay? But remember about blood work, guys. Just remember this. Remember I talked about the fingerprint? We're all different. And remember, blood work is based on the 95 percentile. 95% are going to be in these ranges, 2.5% in the low end, 2.5% on the higher end. That's how they make it up. That's where they get the averages of blood work. And you know what? But there's uniqueness. Always keep it in mind. I used to preach this, and I preach it to practitioners. Questions, ask questions. Because who is it? Asked about low, let me just get it. Mona is asking about low platelet count. What's that mean? Well, it can mean nothing, Mona. It depends on what your symptoms are. If it gets flagged and you have low platelets, it may be just who you are. Now, again, for me, I look at things from a nutritional standpoint, and I look for deficiencies because platelets are just blood cells. You may not be making enough of them. It's always interesting. I mean, what could be the cause of it? Well, maybe anemia. Maybe you're not getting enough nutrition. You think you are, but blood is protein. Protein. All your amino acids make blood. I have a product called Blood Boost. I put 22 amino acids in there. There's a reason I did that. And all your vitamins that build your blood. Because blood is very complex. The life of the flesh is in the blood, the Bible says. Absolutely true. So, if you have low platelets and you're feeling good, I wouldn't worry about it. You have low platelets, Mona, and you're not feeling good? Well, find out why. These are all good questions. Find out why. Things get flagged on blood work. But remember what I said about those averages. That's how they get to it. And for some people, like somebody asked, well, Doc, I have a low body temperature all the time. Yeah, could be your thyroid. Most likely it's the thyroid. But if you're feeling good, I wouldn't worry about it too much. I think, George, you were asking about blood pressure. I read your thing online yesterday. And your, your systolic was a little bit high, but your diastolic was very good. You're feeling good? I wouldn't worry about it too much. I'm more interested in that diastolic. That gives me more indication. But you know what? There's a lot of people that are just out of those ranges a little bit. And for them, that's normal for them. It's like blood sugar. Because Lucy was asking about blood sugar. What's normal? Well, when do you take it? Fasting blood sugar, what should it be? Well, fasting when? In the morning? When you get up, because cortisol is going up. It's waking you up, and you take your blood sugar before you eat. Should be a little bit higher because it'll tell you what your cortisol is doing. Because it's going on with the circadian rhythm of your body. That's just normal. It's going to be a little bit higher in the morning, or at least it should be, fasting. You know what? I always look at, if it's over 5.5 or whatever, you're, on an average, and that, you're starting to get up there in the sixes. But I'm not so worried about the blood sugar as much as I'm worried about your insulin. I'm an insulin guy. Blood sugar is the last thing to go wrong. And you can fix it. You can fix it. Okay? And Ron was asking about profuse sweating. Well, just Ron, is that you? Is it your thyroid? Is it just the way you're built? Some people sweat like crazy. Okay? And some people don't. And when you have too much of it and you're like clammy all the time, again, I look at deficiencies. Is there anything deficient in the body that might be doing it? Or is it just the way you're built? You got to figure that out. All good questions. Keloids, Carrie was asking. What about them? Well, they're just on post-scarring. Can you get rid of it? Well, I love pine bark on the skin. Have you guys tried the new Rivera? Listen, I came out with Rivera in the 1990s. I think it was 96. That's how long it's been around. Now we reformulated it. Fantastic. I love it. I love it. Okay? Those help. But remember with skin too, inside out. Inside out. Really helps, even with keloids and that I found over the years, like probiotics and a healthy diet. And it's amazing, the skin is just an organ that you can see. And I remember what I said yesterday about skin. It's always the gut. Anything you see on the skin, look to the gut. Because this is just a window to your gut. Okay? Good questions. Okay, I think I covered. Somebody was asking about hypertrophic myopathy. It's like POTS to some extent, usually genetic. If it's cardiomyopathy, again, do the reset. Look for deficiencies of B12, vitamin D, even for muscle. Should have mentioned that earlier. A lot of people have low levels of vitamin D, and they don't do very well. Okay, so I think I covered all those questions this morning. Okay, so I want you to have a great weekend. And if you're not a member of the Martin Clinic Facebook group, please join us. Join that private Facebook group. Well worth it. And please share this with your friends and family. You can only, you don't get a soapbox like me. Most people don't, because I can talk to, thousands and thousands of people a day. But you can influence your little circle. You can bring a horse to water and I can't necessarily make them drink it, but at least give them the information. and see what they do with it. Okay. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.